Hi, welcome back to Dare to Inflame. It's Tuesday afternoon and I am parked outside a cemetery in Innerkip waiting for my oldest to finish swim practice. Anyway, I am here for a while, so I thought I would record now while I had some peace and quiet and a little bit of privacy for a change, so that's cool. I am struggling today. It was a very rough night's sleep. I had very disturbing dreams about countless things, and I woke up with a horrible headache. So moving slow today and really not being able to focus very well. So I gave up trying to organize any of this because I really just bullet pointed things that are sentences or thoughts or quotes or whatever that spoke to me during the classes of talking about the shamanic summit that I went to, Shamanism Summit that I participated in. And it doesn't flow by any means. It's really just key ideas. So I thought I would just start talking about the key ideas that I wrote down, and we'll see how far I get and what it brings up during the recording, and just do it that way, I guess, because I didn't know how else to organize any of it. I tried, and now I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I just kept going, oh yeah, that's great, oh yeah, that's great, and it just doesn't flow because it's like 26 different speakers and all different topics, some similar, some different, but anyway. And like I said, my head is pounding, just pounding. So I will try my best to work through this. Just reading out my bullet points. You can turn me off if you need to. The very first speaker talked about how trauma can be looked at, or should be looked at, differently than society does. Trauma is always looked at as a really bad thing and things to avoid or fight against. And he spoke to the idea that trauma is a gift, is our gifts to awakening. So we go through these traumas, we go through these lessons to enlighten us and bring ourselves closer to that awakening, I guess. He also talked about changing the idea of how, and I think I've already talked to this in one of my other videos, that we need to stop, our language needs to stop individualizing us all, and we need to speak to the collective. So instead of saying how are you today, you say how are we today, because ultimately we are all connected in our energies, and we as a collective reflect how the collective is doing. So if we start talking as if we are a whole, and then B, focusing on the positives of the traumas, that will in turn perpetuate positive and good vibrations. He also talked about the idea that time is infinite, that the past, the future, and the present are all one, which it's one of those abstract concepts that you think of time on a line, and it doesn't work like that, because when we are here, this moment, we can recall the past, and we can visualize the future. So all that energy is all wrapped up in the now, in the here. So it might have happened, like whatever the situation is might have happened, but your interpretation of it and how it actually affects you changes on how you look at it today. So you can change the past by how you look at it today. I know that's a really, really abstract concept, and you just have to sit with it a while, but it's so true and so hard to grasp all at the same time. He also wants the collective to know to take time to open to the evolutionary possibilities, to take action in the present, because time is pure potential. So you can dictate your future. You can manifest anything you want by seeing it how you want in the now and taking actions to make how you see it truth. And again, looking at the past, you can take any moment of the past and find the potential of it and move that forward to benefit the future. It's an abstract concept, but if you can sit with it, it's really cool. It's making my head hurt more, but it's really cool if you can let yourself have that truth. He said that the time that we are in at this point right now is a time of great potential, as well as a great upheaval and change from discomfort. So again, all the change and the discomfort and the traumas that are happening now are here to provide us with potential for the future, and to make our future whatever we choose to make it in the now. So if we want to sit here and make it a negative, then that's what ultimately we will carry forward. But if we want to sit here and see the positives, which I've kind of really talked about over like this whole COVID thing, is how, I've watched so many people get wrapped up in the bad of it all, and how they're being hard done by, or how they're being victims, or somebody is victimizing them. The situation, society, the government, whoever, pick a feature, is victimizing them, is causing them harm, instead of looking at it as, I'm being given a gift, I'm being given an opportunity, and it is my choice in this moment how I will utilize that possibility, how I'll utilize that lesson, how I'll utilize this restriction, or whatever. And it's ultimately up to us to claim our life and our path. Stop focusing on what we don't want and what's wrong, and start focusing on the potential that is right here, right now. Be in the mystery. That's the other thing he talked about, was it's okay not to have all the answers. It's okay to sit in that trust that ultimately you are being moved forward, even if you don't know what the path looks like, and even if you don't know how you want it to look. The universe is moving you forward in the proper way. Like, it's moving you. Really, the only thing that can happen is we can put blocks up for ourselves not to move forward. But if we don't know, but we trust that the universe will move us forward as we should be, if we just trust in that and follow the potential and the opportunities and the lessons that come forward, we will get where we're supposed to get. But if we're fighting the whole way, or focusing on how, again, we're victims, or focusing on the fear, then we will put up our own blocks, and we'll move, but the movement will be very limited. So we have to be in the mystery, be in that trust, be in the look at it as an adventure, or a ride, and think that not knowing what's around the next corner can be exciting and can have positives. So again, learn to love the trauma and the hurt we carry, because ultimately it makes us who we are, and we've lived it for a reason. And it's grown us as a person, people, as human, as entities. It's grown our soul for whatever our reason is. Again, back to the how are we are good. We are not singular. We are all in a relationship. We are one community, whether it's the energy between people, whether it's the energy between a community, whether it's the energy between me and the butterflies that are flying around outside of my car. We are all connected. The energy. So I am wearing this shirt, and I have a relationship with this shirt because I am using this shirt to, cover myself today. But because I am wearing this shirt, I also have a relationship with the teller that rang me through at Costco, where I bought it. I also have a relationship with the packers who unpacked the boxes, or the ones that packed in the first place. I have a relationship with the person who made the shirt, and the machines that made the shirt, and then the people who made the machines that made the shirt. And so that one single shirt can be an example of how we are all interconnected, whether we know a person or not. We have in some way a connection with them. So again, talking about the we versus the I, because ultimately if we don't take care of the we, then I don't have what I need. I have four-wheelers coming up to disturb my privacy. No, they're coming into the driveway that I'm sitting next to. Again, the how are we versus how are you. Language creates these boxes that we end up perpetuating in our thinking. So we need to allow the complexity of the energy of the world, of the universe, to grow beyond those language constructs, the things that are holding us back. Like the language that we speak now, pick one of them, they've all grown from a division of community, right? So it started off as there was no language, it was just how you felt, and this group of people moved over here and they speak this language, and this people move over here and they speak this language, and even our language within itself, it individualizes rather than building us as a community. So anyway, that was the one guy, and it was a really cool big thinking for the very first speaker. Another guy was talking about keys to healing through meditation. I think this was a different guy. It might not. We'll see. Hold on. Yeah, I think this was a different person. Most of them I marked that I did, but the first couple speakers, I was just figuring it all out, and I didn't realize how much I was going to get out of it. So, 3 keys to healing meditation. Presencing ourselves, so being right in our moment, like in the moment, in our feeling the energy around us, feeling the pulse, like the beat of our heart, the beat of the land, the winds, just being presencing ourselves, and then taking witness to what comes forward. So the thoughts that come forward once you're completely grounded, once you're centered, the thoughts that come forward, witnessing them, not judging them, just taking them in for what they are. And then no matter if they're bad or if they're good or whatever, again, you're just witnessing. So you're not, without judgment, you can't think it's good or bad. So you're just witnessing it. And then when you've witnessed it, just embrace it. So the idea of what is love, what does love say, and when trauma comes, what would love say? So when you're in that meditated state, and these things are coming forward, to embrace it in love, just accept it as a truth without judgment, without preconceived ideas around it, and then just consider, okay, I'm thinking with love, and this is what in love, this is what it's giving me, this is the information it's giving me, and move forward with that. So out of meditation, when I'm, having it out with my kids or whatever, and I stop myself and I presence myself, and I'm, okay, am I doing this out of love? Am I doing this out of frustration? Am I doing it in love? If I center myself in love, what does love need to say? And so, like when I had it out with my son the other day, when I centered myself and breathed, what does love say? Love said that I was wrong and I shouldn't have said what I said. However, love also says that if you're having this much of a reaction, then there's something that you need to look at and then work. If this is not how, you want somebody to feel, then maybe you need to look at your actions so that they don't feel that way. Obviously, everybody has choice in how they react, but you have to look at your behavior through rose-colored glasses, for lack of a better term. Look at it through love, and then what would love say in this regard. So love is the capacity to be fully present with what is and what isn't, to honor it and myself or yourself or the collective as a whole. So be present to what is actually a truth, taking out all those preconceived ideas or judgments, and honoring that. The experience is what matters. Learning from our experiences, learning from our lessons, learning from every single thing that happens. It's interesting that this is one of the statements, because on the way here, I had this experience running through my head, and I was like, it was as if it was being rerun in my head, because I needed to see it from a different angle, and I needed to see what I missed in the moment. And I will tell my twin flame, because he was there, and maybe he can help me, I don't know. When myself and you and your partner and my friend from Chatham were in the four-wheeler way late at night, some of us were fairly intoxicated. More of others were very intoxicated, but whatever. And we were going to go for a tour and give her a feel of the neighboring property. And OPP showed up, whatever. Okay, I hope you remember that situation. So why is this situation coming to mind and repeating in my brain? What did I miss there that I need to know now that I didn't? And here's what I took, and I'm trying to take this out of just before we left in the four-wheeler. It was said that here's the plan if an OPP officer stops us. And at the time, I'm thinking, why would they bother? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But that person was sure that we were going to get pulled over, which we ended up doing because, we do have a tendency of manifesting our future. The problem isn't that happened. That's just a lesson. But the other lesson, the bigger lesson for myself is, when she decided that this was going to happen, that we were going to get, like, that the police are going to show up and they're going to question why we're out in the four-wheeler, she said we needed to lie. We needed to say we were looking for the dog. That the dog got out and we were looking for the dog. Before the situation even happened, she created a situation and then made it a negative situation where we would have to lie. And what I've learned is that nothing runs as it should unless we're sitting in truth. So, first of all, we manifested the cops showing up. Believe or don't believe it, I mean, it happened. We did end up having cops, which the odds of that are, I mean, yes, there's cops local, like, close by, but the odds of, in that, 5 minutes that we were going to be visible, that there would be a cop there, it's just the odds are not in that favor. So to have somebody perpetuate that idea and create that, manifest that, that's one. But when the cop pulled us over, my twin flame got angry. Angry because, how dare you question me? I am on my land. You don't have the right. Which is there's a truth in that, but why the anger? And I don't feel that it was, I feel like just the situation, anger the company we were keeping, anger always comes first, and that's not healthy. It's just not. And immediately we had this lie. And yes, the lie got us, he let us go on our merry way. But why? Why did we need to lie? If everybody had stayed calm and everybody had just been like, hey, it's our property. I can show you my license. Because here's the thing. The cop he wasn't being an asshole. He was actually looking out for property owners, in that there was things being stolen in the area. And he wanted to make sure that your property, as a property owner, was not being stolen, which is fair. Does he have the right to demand it? Maybe not, but it wasn't a situation that needed to be handled in anger. It could have easily been said, yeah, thank you for checking. I appreciate that. I'm actually the owner. Here's my, I have my license that says I live here. And when he says, what are you guys doing out here? It would have been quite legit to say, the two drunk girls in the back wanted me to take them for a ride. There was no reason to lie, because that was the truth, and there was no illegal part in that. We weren't off the property, and we weren't doing anything wrong. So making up a lie for a situation that the truth was it just was unnecessary. So why perpetuate it with negative and untruths? And I know it's this little tiny situation, but if the little tiny situations are handled with untruths, how are the harder ones handled? How are the bigger ones, the ones that have more impact? Truth, I know it's cliche, but truth will set you free. The truth will ultimately lead us down the better path. And I don't know, it was funny that came up, and then this thing, direct relationship with the truth. Owning our truth is just so much easier than trying to hide it, trying to lie about it, trying to go around it, whatever it is. It's just so much easier. Anyway, really long-winded story for one simple statement: direct relationship with truth. Words are Words are seeds that can be grown into love or weapons, for I create as I speak. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Words are seeds that can be grown into love or to weapons. I create as I speak. That's it right there in a nutshell. And back to the whole idea of past, future, and present all in one. A key idea to think of is that the past is frozen in time that we bring forward to the present, and the future is potential in time that we bring back from the future. There isn't anything that isn't happening right now. That was a quote that they said. I'll probably wrap this up. I made it through almost 2 pages of my 8 pages. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll just leave it with this quote, I think. Ultimately, to move forward in a more joyous way, a happier state of mind, to find that heaven here on earth. Bring the sunshine in, and the humor and the joy and the curiosity, for life is miraculous. Sing to the universe, sing to the spirits, sing to the ancestors. And recognize what are you feeling and what is your truth. If you follow those 2 things, what are you feeling and what is your truth, and follow those and let them lead your way, the potential is unlimited. Anyway, I made it through 2 whole pages, and I'm gonna shut it off because we're already at 26, almost 27 minutes, and that's crazy. So until next time, dear twin flame, as always, you have all my love for all my life.